Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video on the GST. So GST, of course, means goods and services tax. So a good is just something you buy, like from a shop. For example, an iPod. That's a good, something you can take away. Services, well, that's when you pay somebody to do something for you, like paying a plumber to fix your taps. So a goods and services tax means that when you pay for a good or services, you have to pay some money to the government. That's what this word tax means. So in Australia, at the time I made this video, the GST rate was 10%. So what that means is when a company charges you for something like a bottle of Coke, they have to increase the price by 10% and give that extra money to the government. Now in Australia, almost everything you can buy has GST. The only things that are GST free are things like basic foods, like milk and fruit, you don't have to pay GST on, and things like health services, like seeing the doctor, things like that are GST free. You don't have to pay money to the government. However, most things, almost everything that you buy does have GST. So we're going to look a bit more at the maths behind this. So what does this mean? Well, let's say that I've made a beautiful cologne. Yes, sorry, I'm obsessed with cologne. Let's say I want $150 for that cologne. I can't sell it to you for $150 because I would have to give some of that $150 to the government in the form of tax for GST. So what companies have to do? They have to get smart. And if I want to sell you this, I have to get smart and I have to use some maths. So what I want to do, if I want to get $150 in my pocket for this cologne, what I need to do is I need to increase that $150 by 10%. So I have to charge you 10% extra, so that extra money will go to the government. So remember, increasing by 10% is the same as finding 110% of the quantity. So here, if I want to increase $150 by 10%, I just find 110% of 150. So remember, finding percent of a quantity, I change the percent to a fraction or a decimal, and then I just multiply by the quantity. So 110% is just 110 over 100. So I can use calculator, I can use my head again. So I can divide top and bottom by 10. I can do that again. Divide bottom by 10, divide the top by 10. I'm left with 11 times 15, which is $165. So what am I going on about? What does this mean? Well, it means if I want to sell you a cologne and I want to make $150, I have to actually sell it to you for $165. So I will get $150 and the extra $15 will be GST. That will be the amount that is taxed. Okay? So hopefully you are a little confused and you're thinking, this doesn't make any sense, right? $15 is not 10% of $165. Well, that's right. What this means is if you go to a shop and you see, something for sale, let's say like, I don't know, a video game for $100, that doesn't mean 10% of the price is GST. And the reason is this: whenever you have the price, so this is the amount the company gets, I'll just put amount that whoever's selling it gets, and then you have a little bit of GST added on, okay? But the GST is only 10% of what the company gets. So if you like, this is like one part, GST is one part, and the amount the company gets is 10 parts. So in total, if you like, the selling price is composed of 11 parts. 10 parts the company gets, 1 part is GST that the government gets. So actually, GST is only 1 out of 11 parts of the selling price. So the selling price, again, if you forgot what that means, that's what the customer pays at the store. So if I sell a cologne for $165, if that's what I charge you, that's the selling price. So the GST is 1/11th of the price that you see marked at shop. So if you want to find, so if you know the selling price and you want to find how much of it is GST, all you need to do is divide by 11, because 1/11th of it is GST. Okay, if you have the selling price and you want to find what we call the price before GST, which is the same as the amount the company gets, then you divide by 1.1. You find it 10/11ths of the price, okay? So let's look at an example. Okay, so look at this example. So let's say the selling price of a TV, let's just say it was $253. Okay, so that's what it would be marked like when you go to JB. It'd say this costs $253. So what we're going to do is we're going to find how much of that $253 is GST that will go to the government, and what will be the price before GST. So what is the price without GST? In other words, how much would JB get from this? Okay, so again, people think, oh, okay, GST is 10%, so to find the amount of this that's GST, I just find 10% of 253, but that wouldn't work. 10% of 253 is 25.30, okay? So if the GST was 25.30, that means the price before GST would be $227.70, right? That's wrong. The GST is 10% of the price before GST. So you don't find 10% of 253. Remember, you divide 253 by 11. And if you do that, you should get $23, okay? So that means the GST is $23. If you buy a TV for $253 from JB, $23 will go to the government. So the price before GST, you can do 253 divide 1.1, and that just gives you 230. So note that 23 is 10% of 230, so I know I'm right. Okay, so the GST is 10%, not of the selling price, it's 10% of the price before GST, or in other words, 10% of the amount that the company gets. So if you buy a TV for $253, JB will get $230 of it, and $23 will go to the greedy government. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.